Alright, good afternoon. I know there's only one person watching, it's probably me. But never mind, I do get people watch my channel eventually. Right, so yeah, trolls again, causing trouble or trying to cause trouble. Won't leave you alone, will they, eh? On my video, I might have said something about rubbish and for other people to pick it up. Look, when we're doing detecting here, we do attempt to pick up a lot of people's trash. But if you've only got a small bag, you're not going to be able to carry a lot around with you in that bag, are you? So you're going to have to try to dispose of it, I suppose, in a different matter, like, piling it up and hopefully, the park ranger will come along and clear it up. Or if you've got a friend who's got like a bigger pouch, will carry it out for you. I just had a troll on there on my channel moaning and bitching because I said let someone else pick it up. Well, as I said, we are only able to take so much out with us, junk. And it was great big iron bars and things like that, Well, what I mean is by letting someone else pick the trash up, I mean the park rangers, because that's what their job's for, we try to do the best we can when detecting. We do take out a hell of a lot of stuff, like bottle taps, pool can pulls, tin cans, chunks of lead, iron, steel, aluminium. We take a hell of a lot of stuff out. And because I say let someone else pick that piece up, I get a troll on here moaning and bitching. And yeah, it's a troll who opened a new account, had no subscribers whatsoever. So yeah, we are going to be attacked on YouTube with trolls, guys. So, I'll just ignore the little dumb idiots, to be honest with you. No, I just wanted to address that, because some people might take it offensively because I said, let someone else take that, Now, we do our best in getting rid of a lot of the stuff. Not just metal detecting, but if you look at my channel here, I do magnet fishing as well. And I've pulled out stacks of stuff out of the rivers. And, if you expect me to carry a shopping trolley home on my shoulders, or like sace, or great iron bars, no, that's not going to happen. Because I don't have a car. I don't have a van. I don't have any kind of transport whatsoever, apart from public transport. Now, when I do magnet fishing, the best thing I can do is to put it all in one pile and then contact the local park ranger or the council and tell them that, I've removed a load of stuff at the rivers, pond, lake, whatever, and ask them to get rid of it. Because we've done our part by removing it from the lake, river, pond, soil, whatever. And, I'm not the only one who leaves a little bit of stuff behind. Now, I've seen many people on YouTube, metal detecting and magnet fishing, where they haven't got the means of taking it away with them. And they have to dispose of it in another way, Some people will probably rebury it, and then because there's no trash bins around, or if there's a bush, then they might chuck in the bush. I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels, and yeah, I've seen a few people, chuck a few things in the bushes. And I've got cramps. I hate cramps. I keep getting cramp in my leg because I do too much walking about. So, when people be sarcastic and come on with a troll account and they've got no subscribers, no content on their channel whatsoever, it does kind of wind me up a little bit, Don't like it, don't come to our channel, don't watch our channel. you know, because like we're not going to listen to your bullshit anyway. But anyway, changing the subject. Yesterday I did go out, and I'll be honest, I did get stopped by one of the park rangers and told I can't milk detect there. So I packed up my gear, and after speaking to him for about 30 minutes, you know, on my video you can actually see me talking and, you know, explaining about the situation of halls, because I went to one of my local places the other day and I was just doing a little bit of detecting. You know, I wasn't planning to stay there. I was just like, you know, walking through it, and I thought, oh, I'll grab the detector out and, you know, just scan the ground and see what I can find. And as I was going through one particular part, there was a massive, great big hole. You know, talking about that big, seriously. So someone had already been through there and made this massive hole. Now, did the guy actually, you know, who left a comment on my channel say, well done for, you know, like covering that hole up? No, he didn't say that. He had the bitch because I said, oh, let someone else come and pick that up. You know, you get funny people in here. You know, you do the best you can to keep the land as respectful as you can, and because, you know, you either put one thing on the side and say, well, let someone else come and pick it up, you know, and they start bitching about it. Now the thing is, right, as I say, we do our best to actually remove artifacts or even junk from land, rivers, lakes, ponds, etc. Yeah. No, metal detecting is a very, you know, wide hobby with people, and, you know, it is very hard to actually get permissions where I live. To be honest with you, very hard. You know, I can go up to Reading and get a metal detecting license from, you know, the sports ground up there, because the council don't actually do them in the council. Would you believe? No, it's a council metal detecting license, but they don't actually issue them in the council building. They get someone else to like issue them. Now, I'd love to go to Reading actually, but it's, you know, kind of like too cost effective to me. You know, it probably cost me about £30 to go up there and back, you know, kind of thing. On a rough kind of like guess estimate. So I can't do that. If I lived closer to it, then I would do, you know. But it's very hard, you know, to get permissions where I live. And yeah, yesterday, you know, I got told to leave one of my locations. And as I say, like, I was talking to the guy, and I said, look, you know, I'm a trustworthy kind of honest guy. I always cover my holes up. And, you know, you just saw me cover my hole up. And you can see it's hardly any kind of, how can I put it? You know, as you can see, well, covered it up. It looks like it's not even been dug now, does it really? And he goes, well, yeah, I can understand, you know, your feelings about metal detecting. You know, I know it's a good hobby, but, you know, I just can't allow you to, like, dig on here, you know, kind of thing. And I did run through the actual bylaws with him. I said, look, I looked on I looked on the post, what you told me to do, and it doesn't say nothing about digging on there. You know, it says do not remove turf, soil, plant knife, or trees. It doesn't say nothing about digging. And I'm not removing any soil. I'm not taking it away from me. I'm putting it back. So there's a big difference there. But the guy was kind of like, well, you know, I'm sorry you can't do it. I can't give you permission because otherwise, you know, I'm not following the rules and regulations. And I can understand that, yeah. And there are places where, you know, you will probably disrupt, you know, like some kind of like rare plant life, or, you know, you might disturb some kind of like animal layer kind of thing, you know. But I try to keep out of the way of people, you know, on main footpaths. I try to go into the deeper part. although you don't really find much in there, but I try to keep away from people. Not that they're going to like complain and, like report me. Since I've been doing this, since I've been doing like my local places, I have had a lot of people come up to me and ask me, what I've found, and they've been very interested in what I found, But the reason why I did get kicked off, because, I was digging a hole. Now, a few weeks ago, I saw the same guy, and, he gave me permission to actually do service fines, all right? Now, to me, even a service fine can be a small hole, an inch. But you're not even allowed to do that. A surface is like laying on top of the ground. You can see it with your own eyes, kind of thing. And he said, you just can't dig. He said, I'm sorry about that, but, there are, people coming over and digging holes and they're not filling them in. And I said, I know that. I said, I was around here the other day, mate, and there were so many holes here. I actually covered them up for you. And he goes, well, I appreciate that, but I still can't let you, detect on here. And I said, well, let me just show you, some of the parts where, I found these holes. And as I was taking into one part, I turned my camera off because I didn't want, too much being said. And I showed him one little hole, which, I covered up, which was not my hole, but I covered it up. And then I turned around and I saw the big one. I said, oh, there's the other one. And he goes, yeah, well, that's what I mean. People do come over here, they dig holes, and they just don't cover them up. That's why we won't allow people to dig holes. And I said, but I'm not trying to be funny or rude or anything here, but how do you know that some of these holes ain't done by animals? Like foxes, rabbits, hares, squirrels, and whatever. He goes, well, I've worked here quite a long time, and I can tell, the difference between a dug hole and a hole created by an animal. He goes, normally you can tell by, the actual, the curves of the spade. Now, some people have like straight edge spades. I use like a kind of like little curved spade. He goes, look, if you was to dig a hole there and covered it up, we may not see it, but if we do see it, we can tell that it was a dug hole or an animal hole. I said, yeah, but the thing is, animals don't cover their holes up, do they? We do, or some of us do. And I was just trying to have a friendly discussion. Some people might turn around and say it was an argument. It wasn't an argument. Well, it might seem to be an argument, but it was kind of like being gentlemanly about it, And I said, look, I can understand about the animals, the wildlife, the wildflowers and seeds and stuff like that, yeah. And I apologise if I've caused any problems. He goes, no. He goes, look, I can see that you're a genuine kind of person, and I do see that, you would cover your holes up, but if you're doing it, I just can't give you permission, because I'd be going back on my rules and regulations, and I could lose my job over it. So I said, okay, fair enough. I pack up my gear, and which I did do eventually. But I came on speaking to him, and I asked him about a football pitch further down, behind the actual common, and he said, no, I think that runs under the council. So I said, well, okay, I'll leave that for now. Then I spoke about this other kind of piece of land, which is actually being kind of like sorted out. It's near a tram stop. It's on the corner of a road, and last week it was just like complete full of trash, rubbish, shrubbery, massive like bushes, trees, and stuff like that. Now, the other day when I was coming back from a walk and a little kind of like milk detecting session, the bus went past it, and I noticed that they've cleared all that land from trees, bushes, shrubbery, even all the old trash, tyres, tin cans, bottles, and all that kind of stuff is kind of like been scraped up and put in a pile. So yesterday, when I was kicked off the common, politely, I went over there to see if I can get permission to do there, but there wasn't no one there. So I thought, well, I didn't want to go home. It's still, like not even 12 o'clock. I wanted to go somewhere and do some detecting. Now, there are places you can go to, there are public parks and, commons and woodlands you can go to without, getting permission. Now, I know there is a certain place which I went to yesterday, and I did read the bylaws, and it didn't say nothing about like digging the metal detecting or, causing any disruption to the land itself. So that's why I decided to jump on the bus and go further afield. Now, I travelled for about 45 minutes on a bus until we was coming down. Well, the bus was going down this roadway. Well, of course, the bus goes down the roadway. But I noticed that there's a kind of wooded area. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. I might have to stop on the way back and check that out. But as the bus was going down, I saw like another kind of alleyway going into probably the same woodland. So I thought, well, I'm going to jump off here and check it out now instead of like on the way back. Because what I was going to do is stay on the bus and go all the way to the end of the bus route, then come back and then get off and check it out. But I decided not to do that. I jumped off the bus, walked back up the road, and walked down this like footpath that led into this, really thick wooded area. So I done a bit of detecting there. Wouldn't really find anything here. And it is on the same video as where I got kicked off, my local little place I go to. I wasn't really finding nothing, to be honest with you. Now, I don't really like going on football pitches and digging on there, but I did cut across this big football pitch. You had like 4 pitches on one great big long field. And as I got nearer to this other section of wooded area, I turned my detector on and I got a hit. And I found like a modern £1 coin. And then, well, it wasn't a modern one, it's one of the old little £1 coins, which is not spendable. And it was kind of like shallow as well. Then I had another hit, which was another £1 coin, but a part of it had been chipped off. Then I thought, I'll just do one more. So I don't really like digging on that kind of like ground. And then I hit on an old King George V penny. I thought, I've not been skunked today. I've actually found an old coin. So I only dug like 3 little holes there and I covered them up. And even a little old lady walked past me. She didn't say nothing. Because if she had said something, then I would have left straight away. Which I did do actually. I kind of left straight away anyway. I went into the wooded area, checked in there, and weren't really finding nothing, to be honest with you. And on the way back out, I packed up my gear and I was thinking about going home. And there's like a little farm field right beside where the actual wooded area was. I tried, calling out to see if anyone was in there. Couldn't get no reply. And I said this on my other video yesterday, actually. So I left. I saw a police officer questioning him about, the land around here. He goes, well, if you go back down there, I'm sure the guy's there. His car's there, so he's got to be there. So I decided to go back down there. And I went through the gate and I called out. Guy's head popped out from a building, said, yes, mate, can I help you? And I spoke to him. And I actually got my first permission there yesterday. So, no, it wasn't too much of a failure in one way. Some people would turn around and say, it's a real shit day because I didn't find nothing, But I did end up getting my first permission. Now, I was going to go back up that way today, but my feet are really killing me from yesterday walking. I must have walked God knows how many miles, to be honest with you. But I did print out my milk detecting contracts. And I'll probably go back to the farm and get to fill one out. But there are a few other like horse farms around there as well. So I'm going to try to pop down there Now I know roughly where they were, and see if I can get permission on some of them fields as well. Now I think the guy who has given me permission, I think he said he's only got 7 acres. How big 7 acres is, I don't know, but it's like 4 fields anyway, and 4 fields would probably take a good amount of time to go through. If you do it properly, and you kind of like mark them off and you go like from one side back to the other, and just like do a kind of like a margin thing. So one field would probably take a whole day to do, maybe. So if that's 4 fields, that's 4 days. Now I'm not going to go down there every day of the week. Won't be able to afford it anyway. So it'd be probably like once, maybe twice a week until I've done the fields. And if I've got permission, or if I get permission on other farms, then I'll do those as well. Plus, I'm going to go a little bit further out as well, and so I get kind of like permissions on some other farmland. Now, before I got to the location yesterday, there was like a farmland I saw on the main road, so I'm going to try to go there first and see if I get permission on that land before I go to the one where I have got permission, before I get him to sign that one. So yeah, I will actually go out a little bit further if need to try and get more permissions. So I don't really want to be stopped, constantly on land which I ain't supposed to detect. And I did tell him, I've seen other people detect there, and he's even seen people detect there. I'm not the only one who's turfed off. But to be honest with you, the bylaws which they put on these signposts does not state you can't dig. And they turn around and say, yes, it does. You just haven't read it right. Well, I read the actual bylaws signpost at least a dozen times, and it does not say you cannot dig. It just says, do not remove turf, soil, plant life, or tree shrubs from the land. And, remove is actually, to me, taken away and taken home with you. I don't do that. All I'm doing is digging a little hole and then refilling it. But the guy did say, he has had complaints in the past where, people had dug up holes and, public bystanders have gone down and tripped over. I said, yeah, but how do you know that is a dig hole from a milk detectorist and not from an animal? And he did turn around and say, well, we can't prove it is, from a milk detectorist, but, it's more of the word of the person who actually had tripped over. If they seen someone walking around with a milk detector and, when that person didn't cover the hole up and some bystander walked past and tripped over the actual hole, then yeah, they got every right to actually complain about it. I would, if I wasn't milk detecting and I was walking through a woodland or a common and someone had dug a hole up and you could tell it's dug from a spade or something, I'd probably put a complaint in. But it's a shame really that where I live, a lot of the councils will not allow you to detect on their land. I'm kind of on the border of 4 different councils, and not one of them will allow you to detect on any kind of common land, woodland, parks, anything like that. And it's all down because certain people in the metal detecting community don't cover their holes up. And that's what's pissed off the council, and that's what made them change the bylaws. Because not just, where they don't cover the holes up, they actually are destroying, parts of the common, shrubs, plants, endangered species, kind of things. It is a shame really that some people like me have to travel, miles and miles and miles just to try and get a bloody permission somewhere. I've not done metal detecting, constantly over the last year. I only started it up about 4 or 5 months ago again, kind of thing. And it does help me to get out, to get some fresh air in my lungs. So, I do have disabilities. I have like stress, anxiety, depression. I have other medical issues with myself. And, getting out in that fresh air does help me out. I don't just go out and do metal detecting. I do magnet fishing as well. And I was going to go and do some magnet fishing today, actually, but as I say, I kind of like woke up a little bit late, and time I got up there, I'd only be able to do about an hour before it started getting dark, so I decided not to. And also the weather, fucking BBC weather is always changing. The next 3 days supposed to be like just cloudy, but now it's saying it's supposed to be pissing down rain. It's supposed to be pissing down rain today, but it hasn't. Last night, well, yesterday when I was out, it said partially cloudy and possible rain in the evening. Last night, it said it was going to be raining all day. Now, when I woke up, I checked the weather again, and it said cloudy. So, BBC weather is getting their crap wrong all the time. Now, if I knew it wasn't going to be like what it said on the BBC weather, when they said it's going to be raining all day, and it hasn't, I could have gone out and done some magnet fishing today. Because tomorrow, I'm planning. Well, tomorrow, depending on the weather. Let me have a look at the weather. Weather. So I always go by the BBC and BBC crap. See, tomorrow it says like heavy rain in my area, yeah. Now let me go to the place where I've got permission. It's only about an hour away, but it's supposed to be heavy rain tomorrow as well. Friday, light rain. But that rain won't start until like 2 o'clock. Saturday is also the same. Well, no, Saturday is going to be heavy rain. So it's kind of put like in one way a bit of a problem for me getting out. I'm going to be stuck indoors for like another 3 days now before I can go out and do any kind of like milk detecting or magnet fishing. But seriously, guys, like I don't know like where some of the other guys live, like in America, Australia. I don't know. You need, I know there are certain places you do need permission, but I'm pretty sure there are places where you don't need permission, like parks, forestry, open spaces, kind of thing. A lot of the land is owned by certain people, like the government, councils, private residentials, even gypsies and stuff like that, kind of thing. But I think what it is, over the last 20, 30 years, the council have come to the conclusion that they don't want people on their land digging up holes, because people don't cover the holes up, or it is actually probably destroying, a little part of the nature. Because, if you're digging like a rare species, for instance, and you don't know it's rare, that species is not going to be able to like populate and spread its seeds to different parts of the common and allow it to grow elsewhere, kind of thing. So I can understand, about it could possibly ruin, certain species of plant life and stuff like that, even fungus like mushrooms and stuff like that, kind of thing. But I tend to try to like work away from that kind of stuff, around the trees areas, like parts where it's like just dirt, gravel, whatever, you know, kind of thing, and there's no kind of plants around near there. I know, like, you know, there are going to be a lot of like stuff hidden away under, you know, like weeds and plant life and stuff. But I try to keep away from that so I don't cause any damage. But, you know, it's just hard getting permission, you know, to be honest with you. Now, if I had the money, I would be going out further. You know, I'd spend a couple of days down my sister's house and get permissions down there. You know, because there is farmlands down there. There's an old mental institution that's been knocked down many, many years ago. And there's a residential estate there now, but there's still there's still land there, fields that backed onto the actual mental asylum when it was there. And I like to get down there and check those out. But it's all cost, you know. I don't have a car. I don't have any kind of transport except for a push bike. And for travel cost, it cost me, you know, at least, you know, like £30 as a round trip kind of thing, you know. Because I wouldn't be just going down there for the one day. You know, if I was going to go down there, it'd be for a weekend or a couple of days during the week or something, you know. Because I've got a cat. I've got to make sure the cat is being looked after and fed, you know, kind of thing. A little while ago, someone put a complaint in saying I was abusing my cat, which I wasn't. And the ISPCA came round and, you know, checked the cat. And I told him at the time, the only problem with the cat is that she had fleas. And the day he actually came round, I was out getting her checked out at the vets to get the fleas sorted out, yeah. So when I came home, there was a card there from the ISPCA. So I rang them up and they said, yeah, we had a complaint. So I practically begged them to come round, you know, later in the week to come round and check the cat for themselves, which they did do. And they gave that cat a clean bill of health, you know. There was nothing wrong with the cat apart from fleas. And I showed them the proof that I'd already been to the actual veterinarian and that, you know, I had like flea stuff to get rid of the fleas. I even bought this great big flea spray can, you know, to spray all around the house. And when I'd done that, you know, about a week later, I had to put the cat out in the balcony in a little cat basket thing, and I had to go out for 2 hours. That's what it said on the bottle anyway. But, you know, the ISPCA, you know, I showed them how much food she had, and you go, wow, she's got more food there than I actually buy my 4 cats. He goes, you know, I've got 4 cats, and I don't buy them that much food. He goes, you've got enough food there to feed that cat for at least 4 or 5 months. I said, I know. I'll do it because I try to buy as much food as I can because there might be a week where I can't go out and buy the cat food, you know. So I always try to like buy it in not so much bulk, but you know, I don't buy the tin stuff. I buy these pouches, and you get like 4 pouches in the bag for £1. So I'd go to the shop and I buy like 3 bags. So it's like 12 pouches in there, and that lasts for like 3 weeks, you know, kind of thing. And like in my cupboard at the moment, there is like 16 pouches of cat food. She's got a big bag of like cat biscuits, a box of cat biscuits, and that lasts her for like the next, you know, 4 to 6 weeks, you know, kind of thing. So, you know, she's okay. All I've got to consider about is like getting my own kind of food, you know. And being on a low income, very low income, I can't afford to like, you know, go out and buy, you know, a lot of food for myself. And when I do want something, like, you know, I just had to order another bloody pinpointer. And these pinpointers are shit, you know. Why I keep buying these cheap ones? It's because I can't afford to buy myself a Garrett or a Mind Lab or something, you know. And I'm not doing it as like a pity thing, yeah. But, you know, people say, well, why buy the cheap ones? Why don't you get a decent one? I can't afford the decent ones, you know. I have to buy the cheap ones. And I've had, like, when this one comes, it'd be the 5th one I've had within a year. You know, and they're just cheap, nasty, crappy Chinese knockoffs, you know. Like the one I'm using at the moment, when you actually hold this one doesn't work. This one I took apart and broke even more. and plus it's got a hole here. But when you actually turn it on, you get the bleep, and as you go to put the pinpointer down to detect where the actual object is, it'll either start going off before you even get there, or it'll be okay when you actually detect it. And when you get like the big vibration of where you actually located the actual object, when you bring it out, it's still going off constantly, and you've got to keep turning it off and back on, off and on, off and on, like kind of thing, all the bloody time. So these are the cheap, nasty ones I had to keep buying. Now, as I say, I've had about 5 of these within the year. If I had the money, I could have bought a Garrett or a Mind Lab. I don't have the money. So I've got to keep buying these cheap, nasty, crappy things. And when I do buy one, because I'm on a low income, I've got to say, right, okay, well, I spend that much on food and travel. If I cut my travel down for that particular month and cut my cost down on my, food costs, then I can buy another pinpointer. Now, I just bought another one of these for like 15 quid. It ain't going to last more than 5 weeks. It's not even going to last for more than a week, I don't think. Because it's another cheap, nasty knockoff. And people complain about me asking for things, yeah? Well, look, there's no harm in asking for help. If anyone's got a pinpointer that they don't use and they want to donate to me, that'd be great, I could do with a decent pinpointer. I know it does cost money and people don't want to, be giving stuff away freely, but there are people out there who do understand, that, someone with a passion who wants to go out metal detecting doesn't have enough to go out and buy, the decent equipment. There might be someone who might think, well, this guy sounds genuine. He wants to get out, he wants to find these things, but his equipment he's using is crappy. Why not try to help the guy out and give him one of my old pinpointers or sponsor him a pinpointer or something, Well, that don't seem to be happening anyway, So it's no harm in asking, but it's I suppose the thoughts and the generosity and the kindness of someone who might want to help you out. So, it's a hard life when you ain't got no money, kind of thing. And it's, I kind of get jealous in one way watching all these people, out there metal detecting with Mind Labs and Garrett's and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, like, oh, I wish I had a decent detector like that. Now, I just got off my mate, Alan, a bounty hunter. It's not the Lone Star. It's a quick draw. Only hunter quick draw. Now that was around like, it's still, brand. If you buy one brand new, you're talking about 200 quid. Now I got that one off him second hand. I can't say how much it is, but I got it for mate's price here. And it's not a bad little detector. No, I think I'm finding more with that one than I was with my Inti and with my ND 3010. So different detectors do different operations, and the higher end ones, I suppose, find the better relics, finds, whatever you want to call them, than these cheaper ones do. Now I was looking at the some of the detectors on eBay actually. Like Alan just went out and bought a Garrett 400i, and that cost him like 350, 400 quid, because I think he got like the bundle one. And like there's Mind Labs out there, which are really good ones, but they're like 500-600 quid. And what I can't understand, right, is that I was going to do a video on this actually, but I might as well say about it now. I know there's people out there with businesses, who sells, like metal detecting equipment, yeah. What I can't understand is that they will sponsor someone who has got, high-end equipment anyway, and there's like a really good YouTube channel, but they don't sponsor anyone who has the passion for metal detecting or magnet fishing, and they don't come to us lower end people and say, well, I see you having a bit of a problem, trying to get equipment because you ain't got the money. Let us sponsor one for you, you can keep it, just give us an honest kind of review, and we've got yourself a detector or a pinpointer. And I'm thinking, if there was a lot of people out there sponsoring people, why are they sponsoring people with the high end equipment which they've already got anyway, and not helping out some of us poor kind of people? It just don't make sense, to be honest with you. Still, that's life, I suppose. It's life. But as I say, I was lucky enough to get my first permission yesterday. I have actually got my new NCMD, which I am covered up to 10 million insurance purposes. And I did say to the guy yesterday, I am insured up to 10 million. So if I was to do any damage, then I would be covered for that damage, and that damage will be paid for out of the insurance. And he did say to me, well, there is a gas main and a water main going across his land, and he can't remember where it is. Just to be careful. And I said, well, if I hit the gas, then I won't be here. I'll probably get blown to shit anyway. The water works. If I hit a water pipe and it cracks, then all I've got to do is contact NCMD and say, look, I've broken a water pipe, and they go through the solicitors and all that kind of stuff and deal with it themselves, I suppose. I don't know. I still yet to read all the terms and conditions with the NCMD. So much information, it's kind of hard to bring that all into your mind, kind of thing in one go. There are other places that do different insurances as well, metal detecting, I believe. But I've been with the NCMD for 2 years. I like to get the actual app where it tells you where the fines have been, but it's like £35, which I ain't got to pay at the moment, kind of thing. But I'd like to get that application again, if and when I can afford it, because it does give you locations of where people have found really good, decent stuff in the past. Not far from where I live, over at Bedmington tram stop, there's an old waterworks there. Still there, actually. It's like a sewage plant, I think it is. And years and years ago, someone found some Roman artifacts over there. And there's enough there, to bring the archaeologists down. And hello, Demi. And I tried getting access to that not long ago, actually. I went down there trying to find out who I could talk to. I spoke to someone on the security gate, and he goes, I can't let you in, mate, because there's swamp land there and everything else like that, and you've got the wildlife trust at the back. I said, yeah, that's all right, So I came home and I actually Googled, the waterworks, and it actually is run under Thames Water. So I rang Thames Water up and asked someone on there if they could find out who I'd need to talk to, if I could get permission to do some milk detecting behind there. And I did state that there were people in the past that found some Roman remains. I said, I'm not there, wanting to hunt and find it. I just want to try to find out a little bit more about the actual history about it. If I can detect it and find some artifacts to show that the Romans were there, that'd be even cool. And I'd give Thames Water whatever I find, or donate it to a museum or something. Yeah. So Thames Water said to me, well, let me see if I can contact whoever's in charge there. Give me a few days and I'll get back to you. And they actually did do it for me. They actually contacted the waterworks, but person who actually is the manager there declined it. He said, "I'm sorry, we can't allow anyone on there because it is kind of like dangerous. There's swampland there and there's bogs. He could walk on like a puddle, think it's just a puddle, and he could sink like 10 feet under, kind of thing." So it was a bit of a no-no there. But not far from them, there's a in between the tram stop and the waterworks, there's a little roadway, and that's where that other little part of it's not run by the Conservatives or the council. It's like privately owned, and they've like cleared all that scrap, like shrubbery, trees, bushes, and all that kind of thing. It's like completely like just dirt there now, apart from big piles of like trees and everything they've been cutting down. And I tried to see if I can find anyone there yesterday, but I couldn't find anyone to talk to. But just past there, up on the same road, there's a bike track up there. So I was going to ask him there if I can get permission, but it was closed at the time. But I did get the number. I wrote the number down on my phone, so I'm going to give them a call a bit later on and see what they say. I'm just going to say, look, is there any chance I can do some milk detecting around the sides of the actual dirt track, not on the dirt track itself, but around the sides. And if they say, yeah, I'll take a contract up there and get them to sign a contract. People turn around and say, well, why don't you just tell them that, you want to dig there and say that, you're after the history. You don't do it that way. You got to do it, a certain way. You just, I'm trying to learn from other people. I watched a channel last night, actually. What one was it? And he video from like 2012, I think it was. And I think his channel, where was his channel? Don't know, that's the one. Let me see if this is the one. I asked Dirt Digger if he knew about detecting on land, which is, very chalky. Because where I got my permission, the farmer said it is very chalky there. So I'm just wondering if that chalk will, actually decode and decay, like coinage and metal, a lot quicker than normal turf would. I'm just trying to find that bloody channel name. Who was it? I also asked iDetect if he knows about, the chalk. Yeah, well, I can't even find the bloody channel. But there's a guy who actually gave input on how to go around, asking for permissions. He said you can either like Google the maps and find out where the farms are and get the farm contact details and ring them up, or you could actually send them a letter or email them. But the better way is to actually go there, in one way and actually ask permission. And that's what I did do. I think it's addicted to bleeps, actually. Let me check. So I said, great video. The tips he gave was really good. And I told him that I've just got my first permission by doing some of those actual tips. But I didn't follow his tips because I didn't know that the video was up until I came home and done some like YouTube searching on it. But yeah, he done his How to Get Farmers Permission, a Guide for Beginners, Milk Detecting UK, 14th of May 2012. So if you're new, I'm going to post this link out. That's his YouTube video of getting permissions. how to get permissions. You know, he gives you the tips on, like, you know, contacting the farmer, how to go about getting permission, talking to the farmer, doing your research, and all other kind of things. Right, well, Denny, I won't worry about it. Just like what I do is I'll block them and remove the comments. That's the only thing you can do. Yeah, that's all I do is like block them. I'm sick and tired of all these trolls. Just clicked on your link. What are you doing jumping on the city? Be careful, girl, when you're like jumping around. You might fall and knock yourself out on. Oh my god, I can't watch that. I've got to come on your channel. It's distracting. It's distracting me, you know, what you're doing there. Oh, god. Make me go blind. I just clicked on your video link, the one where it says Head Over Heels intro. Yeah. Distracting me off my channel now. I might watch that later. Yeah, you know, but you know, with trolls, you just like have to like bear with it and like just delete their comments and go to their channel and block them. If they've been like, you know, really nasty, you know, report them for like cyberbullying, harassment, or whatever. I've had to do that with people, and yeah, I can't really go into what's going on with it at the moment, but legal action is being dealt with certain people right now. Because you know, you do get haters, you get trolls, even you know, your friends, or you think your friends, you know, turn against you for no reason at all and stab you in the back, you know. So you just got to kind of like laugh at it, I suppose, because they've got nothing better to do with their life, you know, apart from trying to disrupt other people's life, because they've got nothing better to do, you know. They try to bring us down and make us like feel stressed out, depressed, and you know, upset. All you got to do is turn around and laugh at it. That's what I've had to do. Learn. I know it's hard to laugh at, but if they're causing you so much grief, you know, if they're doing it in a nasty way, all you got to do is download the content. I know it's hard to do, but you know, because it was hard for me, but I had to download a load of videos, screenshots, and other nasty things they were putting up about me on my other channel, because I do paranormal investigating as well. I'm a ghost hunter, and you know, I've been really attacked, you know, really nastily, and I had to download all that, and I just went to the police with it, and they think the police weren't going to do nothing. Wrong. I mean, you know, I've been bullied over the last 2 years on my other channel. I even get attacked on here on the altercation, but no more. You know, I've demanded I want something done about it this time, and something is being done. But I can't go into the details because it might give out too much information to the people who has caused me these problems, you know, and it might benefit them for the information I do give. So I don't really talk about it anymore. Keep my mouth shut. But the authorities deal with them. And that's what you need to do. They've been nasty and, like, you know, causing you, you know, a lot of grief and harassing you. Download whatever they're saying about you and take it to the police, because they can get done for malicious communications. And malicious communications can mean harassment, cyberbullying, cyber threats, and a lot of other things, because that's what it's covered. But anyway, so I was going to go out today, but you know, last night the weather said it was going to be raining, and it didn't rain today. So I could have gone out and done some metal detecting. Now tomorrow it says it's going to be pouring rain. Now is it going to be pouring rain? I don't know. See, where my new permission is, I've got to jump on a bus and it's like an hour drive on the bus. Now, I don't know if I'm going to actually milk detect that particular day when I go up there, because I need to take the form up there for them to sign. So, because like an agreement between two people saying that I can milk detect on the East End because he's given me permission, but there are going to be like rules and regulations you're going to put down to me saying, well, like, you can't dig there. You got to clean all your trash up. You got to like take away what you find, or put it, dispose of it in a proper way. He's going to tell me things and I'm going to ask him things, kind of thing. But I am kind of excited that I've got my first permission. There are other like little farms around there, horse farms, which I've tried to like get permission yesterday, but because it's getting dark, I don't like being out in the dark, especially in like, places where they've got no lighting. And I was walking down these long kind of like dark alleyways. Even during the daytime, it's like, kind of dark, kind of creepy. So I did get a phone number for one of them. Is actually on outside their gate actually, but I only wrote one of the phone numbers down on my phone. I didn't take the other one, which I should have done. But what I'm planning to do is go back there, possibly during the week, rain or no rain, and see if I can get permission on some of the other lands. And I'm also going to like do some printouts of the maps, and go a little bit further out as well and see if I can get permissions on some other lands. So I think where I got permission now, I'm pretty sure he talks to the other farmers, and he might eventually say, well, I've got a guy milk detecting, why don't you let him detect your land, kind of thing. It's a lot more like word by mouth kind of thing, I know he did say he had a guy detecting on his land before, but he died. How he died, I don't know. I didn't ask that. He did have people detect on his land before, and they did find a few things, but he can't remember what they did find. So I said to him, like, well, when I do start detecting, I will cover my holes up, and if I find anything of interest, if you want first dabs at it, then fair enough, as long as I've got some kind of record that I did find it. And then that way, if I do find the next Roman or Norman horde, I'll go 50-50 with you, because with a horde, you got to contact an archaeology group. They got to come down. They got to like excavate it and take everything back to the the National Trust or whatever it is, and value it. You're not going to be able to keep any of it. They're going to give you a percentage of what it's worth, and then you're going to have to like split that percentage. With the odd Roman coin, they ain't going to worry about it, I don't think. I see so many Roman coins on eBay, it's like kind of crazy. But I'm also going to try to save up for a mudlarking license, but it's like £80, I think it is. I'm not going to be paying £80. There are places I can go without a license under the Thames Authority. So, I'm thinking about nipping up to Blackfriars again sometime and just doing a little like eye-to-eye kind of search on the land on the River Thames. There are parts where I can actually milk detect without a license on the River Thames as well. So I might take my milk detector up there. I did take it last time, but I was getting way too much iron signals. But now I've got a detector where I can actually discriminate the iron. I might go up there in a couple of weeks and see if I can find anything on the Thames. I've got the, a river not far from me that actually goes on the Thames all the way to way past Warrington, I think it is Warrington. I could do along there as well, actually, but I did ring up the Wandle National Trust, and I said to him, what is the arrangements about me milk detecting? And they said, well, some of the River Wandle we don't own. Some of it's on private land. For you to detect on there, you need to find out who owns that part of the Wandle and get permission from there. But to be honest with you, also some of the River Wandle is owned by the council, and some of it is by the actual National Trust. So you need to contact all three of those. But for us, we just kind of like look after the River Wandle. We got no worries about you going along there, as long as you're covering the holes up and you're not making like a hell of a mess over there. But they weren't too sure if it's okay for me to be there or not. But they said, if it's part that we own, then yeah, we don't mind. But they couldn't give me the information on what parts they do own, which is a bit weird. And there is an area not far from me which had really high weed, and I could never get on there. I spoke to the groundsman because like where this area was, there's like some fields, and you've got like a residential apartment there. And that residential is all kind of like fenced off. I actually spoke to a guy there who was doing the groundwork, and I said, what's the chance of me getting permission and doing some night milk detecting here? He goes, well, this is private land. You need to find out who the landowner is and get permission there. But that bit over there, I think that might be the council. I don't know. But, I can't see why you can't detect there. But, it's really overgrown. But last time I went there, it had been cut down. But, you still got, at least a foot high of like weeds and shrubbery. So, I'm going to go back there and keep an eye on that and probably go and try that sometime and see who actually owns that particular part. It means like going on Google and trying to find out who owns that land, kind of thing. And it can be frustrating trying to find out who owns the land and trying to get permission. So, but say like in different countries, you don't need permissions on certain land. But I don't know. I'm still learning. It's still taking time for me to go through and research this stuff. But that link I put on, it gave some really good tips. You can grab up a map of the place you've actually got permission from, and then you can grab that map over to another application on Google, and it gives you a scale down and an older version of the map, and it shows you what might have been there like 50, 100 years ago, kind of thing. It's like called an ordnance map or something. So that's what I'm going to be looking at as well. So, even though I can't get out the next couple of days because of the weather, I've got plenty to do, research and stuff like that. I'm not really keen on researching, but if it helps me to get out and get more permissions, then I'll have to do it, kind of thing. Because this took me a year to even get my first permission. Some people can go out and get permission straight away. But, this guy, what's his name again? Addicted to Bleeps. The video he put up was a really good video. Explains on what you can do, how to do it, how to go about it, do the research, and get to know, the location. Get to, once you've got permission from one farmer, then I'm pretty sure the other farmers might give you permission eventually later. Because they're going to keep in touch with the other farmer who's giving you permission. They're going to be meeting up in pubs or at farm receptions, like what are they called? where they, all the farmers get together and like, show their tractors and that kind of stuff, one of those things. I'm pretty sure, like, farmers talk to each other. And, my farmer might speak to the farmer down the road and say, "Oh, I've got a guy who milk detecting. He's a nice guy. Why don't you let him come and detect your land?" It'd be like, word by mouth kind of thing. And I'm hoping that might work out as well. I'm going to give him some of my little hobby cards, as I call them. Even the guy on that YouTube channel said about getting something done. Well, I've had mine done for quite a while, actually. Thing is, I can never get that bloody thing. Actually, I've got some here. No, I've got these off Vistaprint. About 2 years ago when I started milk detecting. I want to get some more done, different ones. But I've got these done. It's these milk detecting. And it gives you just like, looking for permissions to dig new grounds. If you have any land I can milk detect on, please call or email me. It's got my name, my phone number, my phone number and email address. And then I'll put on the back my NCDC license number, so they can like check up that I'm being, genuinely honest that I am a part of the NCMD, and I'm covered up to £10 million for any kind of like damages to any land, which I just hope I will never damage anyone's land. So I'm going to grab some more of these and put them in my bag. I've got some in my phone wallet thing, but bloody hard to get out after time. I've probably got about 10 in here. But these ones are getting a bit kind of dirty and grubby. Yeah, especially that one. These ones ain't too bad. But I don't like giving out grubby cards. But I will write there, like my NCDC number at the back and hand these out. Because I could go to a farm and ask them for permission, and they'd probably turn around and say, "No, sorry, mate," But I can turn around and say, "Well, although I am actually doing the farm at the moment, if you do decide to change your mind, can you just like send me an email or call me, and I can come back round with one of my forms, and all you got to do is sign it." But yeah, great hobby. I've noticed that on some of the videos which I've been watching, people have been leaving comments saying, it's a very good hobby and that they are interested in it and they consider starting the hobby up themselves. And even Addicted to Blips is put down in his description something the more decent beginner kind of like milk detectors that you can go out and buy, but they're still expensive. My first one I got was the MD3010. It was only like 70 quid, I think, at the time, 70, 80 quid. They've actually gone down in price now. You can get them for about 50 quid now. But, that's the first one I started out with, a cheap one. And I found like modern day coins. I found like coins from the 1800s to like 1900s, Queen Victoria, King George, a couple of King Edward ones, various George ones, 5th, 6th. I found a Napoleon coin a few weeks ago, which dated back to 1862. I found a few sixpences, silver sixpences. I found a couple of silver shillings, half shilling, full shilling. But I think it depends on, the equipment you're using and how deep the actual finds are as well. I'm still learning. I've only been doing it, although I got my first detector about 2 years ago, I've only done probably about, in total, 6 months of detecting. So I am still learning. I'm still watching a load of people's videos and trying to learn by, their videos. But anyway, I'm going to shoot off and say, don't worry about the trolls. Just ignore them, block them, report them if you have to YouTube. Although YouTube don't do squat. But yeah, block, report, and ignore. And if anyone can help me out with any pinpointers, you want to donate a pinpoint or sponsor me pinpointing, that'd be cool. Or even a decent milk detector. I'm not saying that the bounty hunter quick draw is a crappy detector. It's not. It is a good one. I'm lucky to get it for the price I did get it for, because I knew that's still about 200 quid. But I'd love to get like a Garrett. It doesn't matter if it's like one of the lower end of Garrett's or the higher end Garrett's. I'd have to get a Garrett later on. I was thinking about getting one of those fold up Minelab ones. The Minelab 22 is like £100. The 40s, Minelab 40 is like £130, and the Minelab 60 is like 200 odd quid, kind of thing. I like to try to get the 40, the one in between, because it's got Wi-Fi headphone socket on, while the other one doesn't. And the 40 and 60 has like little flashing LEDs on top, while the 20 or 22 doesn't. But I just want to get myself another one as a backup, because my MD one isn't working properly. My Entity is okay. I still will probably use that on the odd occasion, but I'm still learning how to get the tone. I'm trying to learn the tones and the settings on the bounty hunter at the moment. Once I've got to know those, then maybe if I can get the money to save that, or someone wants to donate one or sponsor me a metal detector, then I can take that and learn the settings on that one as well. But anyway, I'm going to shoot off, and I don't know when I'm going to go out next, because I say the weather. What I'm planning to do, even if it is raining tomorrow, if it ain't raining heavily, I might go up and get my guy to fill the form out, and just then generally have a walk around and see if I can get some more permissions. If I don't do that tomorrow, I might do that Friday. Magnet fishing, I'll probably have to leave till next week when it's more drier next week. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. All right, catch you all later.